Happy Friday, Heat Nation. Your boy Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video. You guys know what I'm going to ask. Before we get started, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. I want to thank all you guys because we just hit 2,700 subscribers. We are almost at the 3,000 goal. I want to thank you guys so much for doing that for me. It really means a lot. But now it's time to rock and roll on another Miami Heat Talk adventure, because we got some great stuff to talk about today. Now, before we get started with the topics, the Miami Heat do have a game today against Atlanta. This is the final game of the 5-game stretch that I was talking about recently after that West Coast trip where we went 2-3. Currently, right now, with this 5-game stand, the Heat are 3-1. We did lose that game against Toronto. Embarrassing loss, but I'm just going to chuck it up as a bad night in the office. So, you got Atlanta tonight. Unfortunately, you're not going to have Jaime Jaquez. I don't think Kevin Love is going to be playing tonight as well. But there's no other injury updates. So it looks like we're going to have Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler out there. That's a great thing, guys. We need Tyler, Jimmy, and Bam to get better acclimated this season. Now, they've been together for 5 years now. Why do they need to get acclimated? Well, it's because I feel that we have a different Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo this season. You have a Tyler Hero who's playing with a chip on his shoulder because he got injured in the 2022 and 2023 playoffs. So he hasn't been able to show the world what he can really do on the grandest stage. That puts a chip on your shoulder. Bam Adebayo was judged, he was ridiculed, he was, I don't want to say made fun of, but people were calling him things like a role player, a super role player in the 2023 playoffs. And you know what? The numbers were kind of showing. Bam would give you things like 8 points, 10 points, 10 rebounds. He wasn't playing like a true all-star. The way that Bam Adebayo has been playing this season, and call me crazy, I'm saying that Bam Adebayo is having an MVP candidate season. Is he an MVP? No. You have other players that are going to win the award over him. But what he does on the defensive end, guarding positions 1 through 5, the fact that he changes the game with his presence and what he's done this year offensively, winning Player of the Week awards, he's better this year. Bam Adebayo is having an MVP candidate season. You take those two guys who have evolved this year and you put them with Jimmy, Himmy, mother-loving Butler, playing the way that he plays, with a Jaime Jaquez, a fully healthy Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson and Kevin Love being lights out from the three-point line, Josh Richardson being a pest defensively alongside with Haywood Highsmith. Guys, that's the team, and I know they can do some damage in the playoffs. However, we have been saying this all year long. This Miami Heat team has holes. They have holes in which they're looking to fix. What are the holes? Well, in my opinion, the biggest hole that we have is a point guard. Now, I said this in the Miami Heat Roundtable with the video I posted yesterday. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, you guys. Myself, Trent, Martell, Amir, we had some great debates about this. But I told Trent specifically that if Kyle Lowry is on this team, I do feel that we can win a championship. But you need to have somebody else starting as the point guard. Last year we had Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent was doing his thing. Kyle Lowry was coming off the bench. It was perfect. But if you're starting a 37-year-old Kyle Lowry in the playoffs against guys like Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Maxey, Derek White, Drew Holiday, it's not going to be the best for you. And then let's say if the Heat actually make it to the NBA Finals and you're playing a Denver Nuggets again with Jamal Murray, they're going to kill you. Jamal Murray is going to eat Kyle Lowry up. So you need an upgrade in the point guard position. Now, we can also say that the Miami Heat does need a starting power forward as well. Somebody to play alongside Bam. We have Nikola Jovic, we have Caleb Martin, we have Haywood Highsmith. But a lot of Heat fans are calling for an upgrade. It was reported yesterday by Jake Fisher in Yahoo Sports that both Kyle Lowry and Nikola Jovic are available for a trade. Now, I've joked around and have called myself a Miami Heat Nostradamus in the past because things that I have predicted have come true in this Miami Heat team. But damn, that's something I've been talking about all season long. Taking Kyle Lowry, sweetie of a $30 million contract, taking a young asset like Nikola Jovic, packaging them together, and getting someone that can help us win now. Now, before I get to the details and who I feel we can trade for that, there was a lot of people in my comments recently bashing the fact about trading Nikola Jovic. People saying things like Miami's never going to trade Jovic. Jovic is the centerpiece of the future. That's not the case, you guys. The center point of our future is 3 players. Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez Jr. If your name is not one of those, you're tradable. You're expendable for the future. I love me some Nikola Jovic. I have talked greatly about Nikola Jovic. In the beginning of the season, hell, I even said that Nikola Jovic is that missing piece in the starting power forward position that we need. He's 6'10", he's 6'11", he can score, he can rebound, he can facilitate. The dude passes like a dream. Offensively, he's incredible. Defensively, where this team holds their hat, where this team is one of the best in the NBA defensively, he doesn't match with the team. Now, I'm not saying that can't be fixed. I'm not saying that he's not a great fit here. I'm just saying that if you're the Miami Heat, you are not looking to build for the future. You have that already. You have those 3 guys. You have Duncan Robinson. You have young pieces like Drew Smith, Orlando Robinson, Jamal Cain. You don't know what's going to happen with them in the future. Then you got guys in the G League like Cole Swider, Aldonis Williams. We have pieces that we can build on for the future. Guys, I ain't fazed about trading Nikola Jovic because we turn undrafted players into quality role players. So if you're telling me that the Miami Heat have an opportunity to trade a Kyle Lowry, to trade a Nikola Jovic, and to get a starting point guard who's going to play alongside Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and evolve us defensively and agility as well, you make that trade. Now, I get it. There's Heat fans that love Jovic. There's Heat fans that don't want to deal Jovic. I get it. I understand it. But you need to make sacrifices to help yourself win. Because we need to truly ask ourselves, with this Miami Heat roster currently constructed, can they win an NBA championship? If your answer is yes, then fine. Let's keep rocking and rolling on what we have. Maybe the Miami Heat can make some changes. I've called for this in the past. The optimal starting lineup for this Miami Heat team, in my opinion, defensively and offensively, that would be perfect in the playoffs. Bam Adebayo, Caleb Martin, Jimmy Butler, and you have Tyler Hero and Jaime Jaquez Jr. starting in the backcourt. Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Tyler Hero both can create on their own with the ball, and they can both facilitate. So can Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and Caleb Martin. You don't need a true point guard with those 5 guys out there. All those 5 guys can control with the ball. They can play off the ball as well. So I think that lineup works. And then you have Kyle Lowry, Kevin Love coming off the bench, which last year we saw was a huge benefit. No other team in the NBA had veterans like that coming off the bench. You also have Duncan Robinson and Josh Richardson. Ladies and gentlemen, that 9-man rotation is deadly. But it's how you play the 9-man rotation. It's how you use it to your benefits. Maybe sometimes you can start Kyle Lowry and bring Jaquez off the bench. Maybe some nights you can't. I've said this before, you guys. I love this roster. I feel that this roster constructed right now can win it all if we are fully healthy. But why would we not entertain an upgrade? What's an upgrade, you guys? What are players that we've talked about in the past? Now, I'm not even going to mention Donovan Mitchell, because Donovan Mitchell, I've said this in the past, that's a far-fetched dream. That's something I think that the Miami Heat are going to explore in the offseason, because as we all know, we love the offseason for Miami Heat. 3 months talking about trading for a player and nothing ever happens. But that's what it's probably going to be. Donovan Mitchell is going to be the sweetie of the offseason because he's not signing a contract extension with Cleveland. Now, if Cleveland were in the situation that Atlanta was, then yeah, I think the Miami Heat could go and make a trade for Donovan Mitchell. But because Cleveland is fighting for the 4th seed right now, there's no way they're going to trade him. There's no point. Why are you going to ruin that chemistry? It doesn't make any sense. Maybe in the offseason, if Cleveland can't come to an agreement with Donovan Mitchell, then yes, a trade may happen and the Miami Heat can explore that. But that's not the case right now. So we're going to wipe our hands with it. I'm going to bring up 3 players, you guys, that I feel the Miami Heat can make a trade for. First and foremost, we've talked about this guy before, Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier from the Charlotte Hornets, I feel, would be a good benefit here. Now, there's some people that have said, oh, you put Rozier and Hero in the backcourt. That's terrible defense. I don't think so. You guys are people are knocking Tyler Hero's defense, saying that he can't play defense. That is not the case. Tyler Hero has evolved defensively over the last few years. And if you watch his games, and I mean actually watch the game, guys, not just watch the YouTube highlights and see little things that Tyler Hero does and then make judges on that. He has evolved defensively. He has gotten better. DeJounte Murray's not bad defensively as well. He's quick. He's a speedster. He gets steals. He can lock down certain players at times. I think that DeJounte Murray or Terry Rozier in that spot over Kyle Lowry would be beneficial. Now, I'm sorry, I was talking about Rozier and then I went to DeJounte Murray, but those are the 2 guys I feel like that he can make a trade for. And you can do it now. Why? Well, because Rozier has said that he wanted to go to Miami. You know he's going to be a trade candidate with Charlotte. That team is done. And Atlanta, you know that it's not working with Murray and Trae Young. So the Atlanta Hawks are looking to trade DeJounte Murray. Now, here's the reason why I would prefer and I feel that Terry Rozier would be the better trade partner. First and foremost, DeJounte Murray, after this year, has a 4-year contract extension. So you have that contract for a while. You are set in stone with that guy. But Terry Rozier, he has 2 more years left on his contract. So it's a little bit more flexible. So if it doesn't work, maybe you can trade or he'll be a piece later on that you can build on. That gives you a little bit more flexibility. But also, Atlanta recently traded for DeJounte Murray. They gave up multiple first-round draft picks for DeJounte Murray. They want something similar to that when they trade DeJounte Murray. Now, the hottest team that has been linked to DeJounte Murray is the LA Lakers. The LA Lakers are trying, but I don't think what they can give up with a package involving D'Angelo Russell is going to be a big deal for the Hawks. I don't think they're really going to care about that. It's not going to make them better. They're going to want an Austin Reeves, and I don't think the Lakers are willing to give that up. The Heat, what can they offer? Kyle Lowry, who, ladies and gentlemen, is making $30 million, and it's an expiring contract. And for those people who talk in my comments not understanding that, you have to get it. When you're a player that has an expiring contract and it's a large contract like $30 million, a team that's rebuilding wants that, because that money's going to be off their books next year. So it's going to give them the flexibility to create. So if you're a team like Atlanta or Charlotte and you trade for a Kyle Lowry, you're understanding that you're doing that to open flexibility next year to build around a guy like LaMelo Ball or a Trae Young. But people don't understand that sometimes. They'll be like, we would never take Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry's too old. He's trash. It's not about taking him to help you win. It's about taking him to help your younger players and to get that money off your books last season. I hope we all understand that. Another guy I feel like that the Heat should trade for, and I've mentioned this in the past, Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones from the Washington Wizards would be a perfect fit here in the Miami Heat. I've made videos about all these 3 guys: Terry Rozier, DeJounte Murray, Tyus Jones. You guys can go back to my previous videos. I've done them all recently, and I talked full detail about these players. But these are 3 guys that I feel that the Miami Heat can actually get. Now, here's a little bit of an issue though. The most tradable contract that you can do for a Kyle Lowry is Terry Rozier, because Terry Rozier is making about $24 million. So they're about $5 to $6 million apart. So you got to make up with it with the numbers. Now, Andy Ellsberg and Pat Riley, you guys, they're great numbers guys. They know how to make this stuff work. So I feel that, you can just take Terry Rozier, another guy as a salary filler, make a trade for Kyle Lowry and a Nikola Jovic, maybe throw in a future first round pick swap. I don't think you have to give up Jovic and a future first round draft pick. I think that's a little too much. I think if you're going to trade for a Terry Rozier, I think Miami can get it done with a Kyle Lowry and or Nikola Jovic or a first round draft pick. I don't think you have to add them both, and I really wouldn't want to do that. If it's Kyle Lowry, Nikola Jovic, and a first round draft pick for Terry Rozier and a filler, I don't know. I mean, if we did it, I'd be okay with it. All right, well, let's see what happens now. But I think I'd prefer a pick swap. I think that would work a lot better for the Miami Heat if you had to do that with Jovic. It all depends on what the market is. Now, for people that are going to be saying, oh, well, the only reason why you want Terry Rozier is because he requested Miami and, oh my God, you're just panicking. It's not panicking, you guys. It's upgrading your roster to make it better. I think Terry Rozier is a better fit than Kyle Lowry. But saying that doesn't mean that I want Kyle Lowry off this team. People are calling for Kyle Lowry's head. I understand. Averaging 9 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He's been playing like crap lately. He hasn't made more than 3 field goals in 2024 at all. And the fact that he's making $30 million, that's the point that's annoying Heat fans. Because I'm telling you right now, if Kyle Lowry was making like the minimum $5 million, something low like that, and he was doing what he was doing this season, Heat fans would love that. It's just because of the fact that he's making $30 million. I'm not trying to look at that. I'm trying to look at things glass half full rather than glass half empty. Kyle Lowry's been with this team now going on 3 years. He's built chemistry with these guys. He has a great relationship with Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero. You bring Scary Terry on this team, Terry Rozier. What is that going to do for the chemistry? See, that's another thing you got to think about, you guys. When you make a trade in the middle of the season, you're interrupting the chemistry that the team has built. So now that's what I want to hear from you guys. Do you feel that this report, trading for Kyle Lowry and Nikola Jovic, would you be open to the idea? And if so, who would you be willing to trade for? Because we just mentioned it. With Terry Rozier, the numbers match. You can make it work. But DeJounte Murray is only making $18 million this year. Tyus Jones is only making $14 million this year. You can't trade them straight up for Kyle Lowry. You got to make the numbers work. So for a trade like that, you're going to have to take in another piece, give in a Jovic, add a future first round draft pick. It's just going to be one of those situations. The Heat can get it done. They can. We can trade for a Tyus Jones. I believe his name is Daniel Gafford. You can add him in the deal with Kyle Lowry, Nikola Jovic, and a future first-round draft pick. Or maybe you don't have to add the draft pick. This is going to be the great flexibility, you guys. We have the trade deadline coming up in February 8th. So you're going to see a lot of rumors. You're going to see a lot of things that are being said. I feel the reason why Nikola Jovic has been getting all this playing time and has been starting is not just because Caleb Martin and Haywood Highsmith were out. They've been back. Haywood Highsmith and Caleb Martin are back, and neither of them have taken the starting power forward role. Maybe the Miami Heat is just showcasing Jovic to boost up his trade value. Or maybe all of this is just hoopla, and the Miami Heat are loving Nikola Jovic as the starting power forward. I've said this before, you guys, and I'll say it again. Nikola Jovic is the perfect starting power forward next to Bam. He does everything that we want in a starting power forward. So hopefully we don't have to add him in a trade. If we can get a deal done with Kyle Lowry, throw in Thomas Bryant, Orlando Robinson, one of those young guys as a salary filler, throw in a future first round draft pick so that way we can keep Jovic, then I would be 100% on board to do this trade. I don't want to give up Jovic. I don't want to see Jovic gone. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do to make this team better. That's the point I want to make. So let me know what you think in the comments, you guys. Also, you think the Heat are going to get this dub tonight against the Hawks? Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Click that notification bell to get all my updates. And until next time, your boy Ernest out. That's enough said. Enjoy your weekend, Heat fans.